Chapter 6 Sadhana Chatushtaya. All of us that exist as Jiva are in fact Atma only. We exist as Atma, which is the natural form of Sat Chit Ananda. We are a composition of Atma and Anatma, that is the Jiva. Atma is our natural state. Anatma is the expression of us. We have been acting through the exposure of body and mind. I exist as a son or a daughter to my parents. I exist as a mother or a father to my children. We call this Vyavaharika Satya, practical truth as far as the world is concerned. As per the Vyavaharika Satya, practical truth, we function as a son or a father. Declaring I am Atma is not Vyavaharika Satya. That is Paramarthika Satya, spiritual truth. As far as we are concerned, we exist as Atma. We cannot book tickets in train or airline by saying we are Atma. We can book tickets only with our names that we use in our day-to-day life. We are used to our daily practical life. Hence, we do not confuse ourselves there. We have confusion only in understanding internally who we are. We should understand that Atma is our real form, natural state. We have seen what Shastras say about Jiva and creation of the universe. Hence, we have come to a conclusion that we are Atma. Did we understand clearly that we are not Anatma, non-conscious factor? We call the understanding that we are Atma as Jnana, enlightenment. Our enlightenment blossoms into Mukti, liberation. Have we attained Mukti, liberation? Understanding that we are Atma and attaining Mukti are not two different things. They are the same. We call the understanding through Shastras that we are Atma as Shravana. Redressing all the clarifications that arise from such understanding through a guru or inquiry is called Manana. Understanding this without any doubt and obtaining a confirmation in our clarity within ourselves is called Nididhyasana, right apprehension. To start with Shravana and end with Nididhyasana, many sadhanas, practices have been defined. Shastras have defined 9 types of sadhanas, spiritual disciplines for us. By grouping the 9 sadhanas into 4 sections, we call them by the name Sadhana Chatushtaya. Chatushtaya means 4. I am Atma is a declaration proclaimed by Shastras. We can only exclaim, oh, I see. But the Sadhana Chatushtaya is not the one like that. This is the practical Vedanta. This is directly associated with us. An example. It is an evening when the dusk sets in. We are walking on the road. 2 foreigners point to us and say, snake, snake. We hear that as lake, lake because we could not understand their accent properly. There is a lake by that side. Thinking that they are asking for the direction to the lake, we tell them, go on to the right and you will reach the lake. And we keep walking casually. Again they point to something and shout. Then only we see the dangerous snake that is sleeping on our path. Then only we could understand that what they said was snake and not lake. Then we run helter-skelter towards a direction where there is no snake. Thus, only when we understand rightly that we are the Atma does it switch into action within ourselves. It will not work for us if we consider that as something unrelated to us at all. It will work only if we understand it the way it should be understood. How to understand that rightly? Sadhana Chatushtaya is something that has been defined for that. Only when we understand these sadhanas, blend them into our life and follow, will we understand clearly that we are the Atma. We are going to see what that Sadhana Chatushtaya says. The first thing that comes in Sadhana Chatushtaya is Viveka, wisdom. What is Viveka, wisdom? Understanding by discrimination and intelligence is Viveka. Rational is nothing but understanding by discrimination. How to discriminate? What to discriminate? Which is Atma, which is Anatma? Which is eternal, which is transient? Knowing by discriminating like this is Viveka. 6 pramanas, 6 ways of knowing things, acquiring knowledge are said to be helping in discriminating like this. Only when we see these practices in conjunction with Viveka will we come to know about the approach towards following Viveka. Out of the 6 types of pramanas, first one is Pratyaksha Pramana, knowing through direct perception. Aksha means Indriyas, senses. Pratyaksha means knowing through the senses directly. Suppose a person shows a hill to us. We do not have to believe in what he says. We ourselves directly see and know through our eyes. Our senses themselves act as the pramanas. This is Pratyaksha Pramana. But there is a limit to our Indriyas, sense organs. There are some restrictions. How to know something that is beyond this boundary? For example, we are in a hill station. There is fire in some distance, but the rocks and trees have hidden the fire in such a way that it is not visible to our eyes. We are able to see only the smoke that comes out of the fire from a distance. Through the smoke that is seen this way, we assume that there is fire. This is called Anumana Pramana, knowing something through inference. This pramana also helps in knowing a few things. Someone asks us, how does a tiger look like? We have seen tigers, but we cannot take him to the tiger's den to show the tiger to him. We show to him a cat which resembles a tiger and say, the tiger looks like this, but it will be much bigger than this. Exemplifying like this is called Upamana Pramana, knowledge through examples. A few things can be understood with the help of this too. Suppose one of our colleagues in our office has a cleanly shaven, shining face without any hair. We have not seen him shaving his face. Even though we have not seen that, we assume that he should have done the shaving before coming to office. The pramana in which we assume like this is called Arthapati Pramana, knowledge through presumption. Is my cell phone available in the table? A friend asks. We look at the table. There is no cell phone seen there. We say, your cell phone is not there in the table. How do we say this? We say this only after seeing with our eyes and confirming that the cell phone is not there. Some invisible things that we see like this is called Anulapti Pramana. We saw that knowing something by using the Indriyas, sense organs, directly is Pratyaksha Pramana. We come to a certain conclusions by somehow using our Indriyas in these Pramanas: Anumana, Upamana, Arthapati and Anulapti. Here we come to a conclusion only after accepting the actions of our sense organs. Can we come to a conclusion what all the sense organs show us are correct? When we walk on the road, we see the mirage through our eyes. It disappears when we go close to it. Sky and sea appear bluish from a distance. The color disappears when we go near them. What we understand from this is that there are some unbelievable aspects in the actions of our sense organs. We confirm the mirage water and the sea water by going close to it. But we cannot know everything by going directly ourselves. It is not possible to know a few things directly. Suppose we have booked flight tickets to go abroad after a few days. There is no change in our travel schedule. We have been preparing ourselves towards that. 2 days prior to our travel, our airline services have been cancelled based on the weather forecast issued by the meteorologists. There is no change in the weather that we can perceive in a way, but on that particular day there is a deluge because of the storm, as the meteorologist said. Had the airline services not been cancelled, we would have been affected too. We come to know about some unknown information through the experts. Knowing like this is called Aptavakya Pramana or Shabda Pramana, knowing through scriptural or verbal testimony. We treat all the preaching of scholars in Upanishads and the great sayings of Vedas as Shabda Pramanas. Understanding which is eternal, which is transient, which is Atma, which is Anatma, with the help of these Pramanas is Viveka, wisdom. Yadha plus Artha is Yadhartha. Yadha means as a matter of fact. Artha means meaning. Yadhartha means seeing an existing object the way it is, or as a matter of fact. Seeing the rope only as rope is Yadhartha knowledge. Seeing the rope as a snake is seeing it wrongly. That is Ayadartha knowledge. A plus Yadhartha is Ayadartha. Knowing ourselves that we are Atma is Yadhartha knowledge. Knowing ourselves as Anatma, non-conscious factor and transient object is Yadhartha knowledge. We have the 3 qualities Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. The quality of Rajas is the cause of all likes and dislikes. The quality of Tamas is the cause of delusion. Sattvic quality alone is the aspect of intelligence. If our sattvic quality predominates in us, that will help in setting the right action for the Viveka. Bringing in discipline in our food and sleep will help in this sattvic quality. Sattvic quality also advances when we do carry out all our actions as Karma Yoga. This helps in the actions of Viveka. The most important sadhana is Viveka, wisdom. Only with the help of Viveka can we step into the second aspect, which is Vairagya. Vairagya is not possible without Viveka. In the event of Viveka happening, Vairagya happens very easily. What we are going to see next is Vairagya. What is Vairagya? Iga amudra bhoge viragaga Vairagya. Iga, this world. Amudra, paraloha, heaven. Bhoge, pleasures. Viragaga, dispassionate towards pleasures. Being dispassionate, detached towards the material worldly pleasures and heavenly pleasures is Vairagya. It is not said that Vairagya is just hating the pleasures. Hating pleasures and ignoring all the pleasures is not Vairagya. Not becoming a slave to the pleasures and not being under their control is Vairagya. It is natural for all to like the pleasures and hate the sufferings. Igaloka is this world. In this world, there are many desires such as desire for land, desire for gold and desire for women. These are the pleasures of this world. Like this, having desire on the heavenly pleasures is also against Vairagya. All those are experienced by our physical and subtle bodies. Hence, the attachment towards our Anatma intensifies. Attachment towards the transient objects only increases. We have come to Vairagya mandatorily through Viveka only. Only if we detach ourselves from the desire on the transient objects can we rely on eternal objects. All the pleasures on the transient objects always have distress in them. We go behind this distress with a delusory thought of pleasure. Our life becomes miserable. This misery is called samsara, bondage of worldly life. Liberating from samsara is liberating from the misery only. This is called mukti, liberation. The cause of all our problems and issues is called Shobana Adhyasa. Shobana means pleasure. Adhyasa means superimposing a false appearance on reality, loading. What do we load and how? Let us suppose that we see a tasty chocolate. How do we see that? We see that with the thought of a pleasant taste on eating the chocolate. We load the aspect of pleasure on that chocolate. Even loading like that is not a crime. It becomes a crime only when one thinks about the loaded pleasure again and again. A repeated thought about pleasure becomes sankalpa, conception or desire formed in the mind. That desire is fulfilled only when the chocolate is eaten. We get trapped into various desires like this. How to get rid of this? How to ensure that these do not pull us to the extent of controlling us? Just because the chocolate is tasty, what would happen if one eats it heavily? We will have to face the ill effects of that. We should not think about that too. We should think about that too. This is called dosha darshan, fault finding in worldly objects. We should take into account the shortcomings in the object the same way we had imposed and loaded the pleasures on it. Seeing like this enhances the opportunity of Vairagya to predominate by withering away the grip on the things. If one is having Vairagya, all the pleasures are under control. In the absence of Vairagya, we are under the control of all the pleasures. It is said that in the state of Vairagya on something, the comfort obtained is 100 times more than the comfort obtained by enjoying the desirable thing. We lose our intelligence when we are under the control of pleasures. Only when we are in a state of Vairagya do we have the intelligence. A liberated life is 100 times, maybe 1,000 times better than a life of slavery. It is only the Vairagya that gives us freedom. Viveka and Vairagya are more essential to attain mukti. When Viveka and Vairagya are attained rightly, attaining liberation will become very easy. How to establish a few things rightly? Though Viveka and Vairagya are said to be the prime sadhanas, spiritual disciplines, we can only use them and not practice them. The sadhanas that fall next to these only can be practiced. Practicing those sadhanas help in Viveka and Vairagya. The third sadhana practice is Sama. The third sadhana, Sama, to the eighth sadhana, Samadhana, are together considered as Shat Sampat, the sixfold virtue. If we see that way, these six sadhanas together become the third sadhana of Sadhana Chatushtaya. What is the sadhana called Sama? Sama is control of mind. It is said that mind is like a monkey. It is called so because it does not stay in a place. It keeps jumping here and there. It is necessary that mind is brought under control. All the endeavor and practices provided towards this are included in the sadhana called sama. What practices should we adopt towards this? Temple worship, good habits, nurturing good traits, isolating from bad traits, meditating, doing mantra chanting, participating in satsang. Through all these good practices, we should attain the control of mind called sama. The next sadhana is called dhamma. Sama is keeping the mind under control. Dhamma is keeping the senses under control. Keeping the senses under rational control without showing much interest in them is essential. Too much of involvement in sensory pleasures will spoil the physical health. Hence, it is essential that the jnanendriyas, sensory organs, and the karmendriyas, organs of action, are kept under control. Our indriyas, sensory organs, can be kept under control through adoption of good habits, fasting, and mingling with good persons, etc. Control of our mind and our indriyas help each other mutually. Practicing Dhamma rightly will help us in many ways. This will enhance the mental and physical health. Next to Sama and Dhamma comes the Uparama. Uparama means turning away. From what should one turn away from? From all that which are not in agreement with the sadhanas, Sama and Dhamma. The control of Sama and Dhamma is something that keeps the functioning of our mind and senses under control. Uparama denotes keeping the external environment under control. Keeping away from smoking is the sadhana called Sama. Keeping away from a place where friends get together and smoke is the sadhana called Uparama. Through this, the sadhanas Sama and Dhamma are protected and they become helpful in Viveka and Vairagya. Can we always steer away from the surroundings that are unfavorable for us? One can keep away from the smoking friends. But what to do when the smoker is a part of our family? The sadhana provided for that is what comes next. This sadhana is called Titiksha. Titiksha means endurance. This also can be taken up as a practice and tried. Practice of bearing with the pairs of opposites such as heat and cold, pleasure and pain, honor and shame, praise and insult, etc. is also a sadhana. Through these sadhanas, we can attain mental maturity. It is necessary to practice doing this as a penance after understanding the benefits. Once we have prepared ourselves through these sadhanas, we should step into the next endeavor or sadhana. The seventh sadhana that comes next is Shraddha. Shraddha does not denote concern. Though it is associated with concern, it does not denote concern. It only denotes faith. It denotes the intense faith for the Shastras and the words of the Guru. A devotee had made arrangement for the wedding function for his daughter. He had come with the marriage invitation card to a saint, holy man, to receive his blessings. He kept the marriage invitation cards in front of the saint and said, "I am in deep financial trouble. I do not know how I will conduct the marriage. Swami, please bless me with good words." He prayed like this. The saint grabbed a handful of holy grains of rice and bestowed on the cards. "Is it enough?" he asked, and grabbed the rice grains again with a smile. "Enough, Swami," the devotee said, and the saint stopped grabbing the grains. The devotee reached home with the plate and the grains. After reaching home, he comes to know that all the rice grains have been turned into gold. The devotee had not expected this. That is why he told the saint that it was enough when the saint started grabbing the grains again. It is very essential to have complete faith in the words of the Guru before attaining enlightenment. Guru's words will not reach the disciple if his faith is not guarded. Only when there is faith will it be possible for involvement in the endeavor. The sadhana that comes next to Shraddha is Samadhana. Samadhana is not about keeping peaceful without fighting. Samadhana is all about a kind of mental integrity called Ekagraha Chitta, fixing the mind without wavering. Mind receives the best energy only when it acts with utmost concentration. Only in that state will the functioning of Viveka be successful. The sadhana called Shraddha will be helpful in this integrity of mind. The sadhana called Samadhana is the eighth one. The sadhana that comes next is Mumukshatva. What is Mumukshatva? This means intense desire for mukti, liberation. We can say that this is the ninth sadhana. We can also say that this is the fourth and last sadhana of Sadhana Chatushtaya. What does the desire for liberation denote? Suppose we have gone outstation. We are very hungry in the afternoon. What will we do when we are hungry? Can we eat immediately when we become hungry? Only when we know the whereabouts of food can we go there and eat. Mumukshatva is like the hunger we get. Having intense desire or interest in liberation is what Mumukshatva is. A person who is a Mumukshu, seeker, starts gathering its associated knowledge and steps into action towards that. One who uses Mumukshatva is called Jignasu, seeker. In the absence of interest in mukti, liberation, there is no necessity of any action towards that. All the sadhanas are not meant to be practiced one by one. All the 9 types of sadhanas in this Sadhana Chatushtaya and their qualifications are closely associated with each other. Therefore, through utilization of all of these, we attain the intended state of mukti, liberation.